Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we are here with week 10, week 11. What week is this? I don't know. The week of November 4th, 2023. That's the week I'm doing. So you already know. If you're new to this, I do 3 games every weekend: Notre Dame, Maryland, and Colorado. I'm a Notre Dame fan, I'm a Maryland fan, and I'm really intrigued by the Colorado story. So I keep an eye out for those 3 games specifically. Don't get me wrong, I love college football. I still watch every game in between that as well. But these are specifically these 3 games I always keep a close eye on. So we're going to start with the noon game. Notre Dame travels to the fake Death Valley. There's only one Death Valley. That's LSU. Clemson has been mediocre this year. Let's just call it what it is. Um, Notre Dame has been reeling the last few weeks. Very big victories. Blowout wins against USC and Pitt. Clemson has lost 2 straight, but they were very close games. NC State gave us problems early in the season, and Miami is kind of, I don't know what to call Miami. I wouldn't call them contenders, but I wouldn't sleep on them. They have a pretty good home field advantage. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So usually how I do it is I pick a score, I give you the money line, I give you the over under, and I give you my opinion on what I would bet on if I did it. So the over the no, let's start with the line. The money line is 3 points. I excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong notes. Um, so the money line is 3 points by Notre Dame. I would take that money line. I think Notre Dame will cover. Um, the over under is 44.5. I would take the over. My final score, I got 31-21 Notre Dame. Uh, I'm not going to say Clemson is horrendous. They're not bad. They still have some fighting them, but they are nowhere near what they've been. Even as far as last year, they're not the same team. It's early in the day too, early in South Carolina. So I think that might affect them just a little bit. They're one of the first games of the day, and I think Notre Dame will come out there. They've had some games this year where they should have won and stuff didn't go their way. I think I think it'll be very hard to get upset 3 times in one season. So yeah, I got Notre Dame 31, Clemson 21. I would take the money line and I would take the over. All right. Next game later in the day, 3:30 p.m. We got the Maryland Terps hosting Penn State. Um, Penn State had a rough one last week against Indiana. They pulled away late. We crushed Indiana early in the year before reality set in. Maryland has lost 3 straight now, and they were all close games. Even that, I always go back to the Ohio State. That Ohio State game was close for 3 quarters, and then they just kind of fell apart. And that was the game. That was the time we had to win that game because since then Ohio State has been rolling. I think Kyle McCord has gotten so much better since the early start of the season. Um, but yeah, I got to be objective. I just don't see where this losing streak ends. It just, I don't know. I've lost almost all confidence in this team. If they can pull out the upset, more power to them. But I just cannot pick them. Just basically judging off the last 3 weeks, I just can't pick them. So let's see. Money line is Penn State by 8. Um, I would take that. I think they'll win by double digits. but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Maryland will come out there. Like the last 3 weeks, they've been, they've been in these games, so they play with heart and passion. They just can't finish the game. That's the problem. So I think it'll be another close one. Like I said, Penn State was struggling with Indiana for a good while. I think Indiana almost had it. They were about to upset them, and then they gave up a deep ball down the sideline, and Penn State pulled away. The over-under is 49.5. I would take the over. My final score is going to be in a close one, 34-24 Penn State. I think Penn State pulls away late in the second half, early fourth quarter. Maryland puts them another good fight. They just won't be able to finish, unfortunately. Yeah. And the final game that I'll watch, that I'll be keeping an eye on tomorrow night, Colorado hosting Oregon State. Colorado has now lost 2 straight. They could have lost that Arizona State game. Like I said, they were in these games, and the Stanford game really kind of derailed their season. They went from 4. They could have been 5-2 at this point before UCLA. Now they're 4-4. Like these games, all it takes is one drop of a dime, and everything changes. You know what I mean? And that could really change your season. So, like I said, there's another one I'm intrigued by, but I just like with Maryland, I just can't consciously pick these teams to win, especially based off the last. Honestly, if you look at the last 5 for Colorado, there was a blowout against Oregon. They had to come back against USC, and that's only because USC is horrendous on defense. They struggled against Arizona State. They had a late comeback with that. They were up 29-0 against Stanford. And in UCLA, for like a half, they were in the game. And then they just couldn't finish. One thing, they can't finish games. They don't run the ball. That's just a recipe for disaster. So yeah, I'm going to go. So it's in Folsom. It's a 7-8. It's a 7. What? No, is it 8 Mountain? 10 Pacific. I mean 10 Eastern, right? So that would be. It's Colorado. Colorado is Mountain Time, right? So that'd be 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Oregon State. They got Oregon State by 13.5. I would take the money line very slightly. Over under is 62.5. I would not take that. I would take the under. My final score would be 35-21 Oregon State. I think it'll be one of them games. Well, it'll be a dogfight early, and I just think, Oregon State. I think they're trying to prove something this year. It's the last year, for this iteration of the Pac-12. We don't know what's going to happen next year. Next year they'll be leaving. I think Oregon State is going to. I think they're leaving. They're going into the Big 12, if I remember correctly, with like a couple other teams. But yeah, I don't know. I think DJ, he's had a resurgence. I said it a couple years ago. Like I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think he was all that at Clemson. And when he transferred, I was like, oh, he's going to Oregon State. And I didn't really think too much. I was like, Oregon State, they're not a bad program, but it's like, you kind of lay low. You're not really in the spotlight. It's Oregon State. It's not Oregon. So you don't really get that shine. And you're on the West Coast. So really, a lot of people really don't watch you. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're true college football fans. But yeah, that's my final score, 35-21 Oregon State. I would take the money line, and I would take the under for this game. All right. So those are my picks for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching as always. And I hope you guys all have great Saturdays. I hope you enjoyed the football. I hope you eat some good food. I hope you get some good rest if you need it. And yeah, let's have another enjoyable Saturday. All right. Thanks for watching. As always, hope you enjoyed. As always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.